I am at the airport and we're about to start boarding pretty soon, and I'm still tripping out that I'm about to go back to Mexico.
Now, the emotional toll of the ongoing immigration crisis is very real. As Hispanics express their fears about the future, the threat of self-deportation looms large, with many already taking matters into their own hands and leaving the country. Now, at the heart of their concerns is the proposed end to birthright citizenship, a move that would have far-reaching consequences for the Latino and Hispanic communities. As one lady puts it, we should all be afraid. They are coming for TPS, birthright citizenship, and DACA. Now, her words echo the sentiments of many who feel the system is failing to protect them. The looming specter of ICE raids, set to begin today, January 21st, has only added to the sense of unease with several cities reportedly being targeted. Hello viewers, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe, tap on the notification bell so that you don't have to miss on any of our interesting videos. Now, in this video, we'll take a look into this critical issue. We'll explore the human impact of these policies and the growing sense of uncertainty that's gripping the Hispanic community. We'll also examine the proposed changes to immigration laws, the fate of DACA, and the consequences of ending birthright citizenship. So with that said, let's take a look at these videos. I will be right back.
We've just heard the inauguration speech of the incoming president, and the immigration policies that he talked about are ones we were already expecting. One is bringing back the MPP program, also known as the Remain in Mexico program, where individuals come to the southern border and ask for asylum. They will be required to remain in Mexico while they wait for their court date. Mexico hasn't publicly agreed to this program yet, as far as I know, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. The second policy he talked about is ending the catch and release program, which is a rude term for basically detaining individuals and then allowing them to enter the U.S. and live their lives while they wait for a court date to apply for asylum or whatever relief they are seeking. The third is expanding 287G, which is basically the federal government putting pressure on state and local governments to assist them in tracking down and arresting immigrants. Finally, he declared a national emergency at the border, which means that the National Guard and the U.S. Army can be deployed there, and they want to resume building the border wall. Now, we're expecting a bunch of executive orders to be signed today. I think there's at least 50, and I've heard that 10 of those will be immigration related. Once the executive orders are signed, we'll be able to read them, see what's in them, and let you know.
So Trump is supposed to do an executive order today, which will end birthright citizenship, even though it is clearly written in the Constitution, which means this will end up in litigation immediately and will end up all the way to the Supreme Court. And we all just have complete faith in the Supreme Court, right? And so it begins.
Attention, in addition to the Chicago ICE raids, we expect Donald Trump's administration to begin enforcement activities in a number of other cities starting tomorrow, Tuesday, January 21st. These cities include New York, Miami, Boston, Washington, D.C., San Antonio, and Denver. So I have pinned 3 videos in my profile. They are Know Your Rights videos. Please save them. There's one with a Know Your Rights card that you can print out. Go to that website. It's a great resource. If we expect these enforcement actions to begin primarily in workplaces, but also against people who have prior orders of removal. If you have a prior order of removal, it is imperative that you have an attorney that your family members can contact in case you do get detained. If you have been here, if you have something pending, make sure you have proof of that pending application with you at all times, whether it's a photo on your phone. And if you have been here over 2 years or you entered with inspection, make sure you have proof of that on your phone also. So, it is expected ICE raids will begin in a number of cities tomorrow. Actually, ICE presence could be seen in Chicago as early as today, Monday, January 20th. But if you are in Chicago, New York, Miami, Boston, D.C., San Antonio and Denver. Check out those 3 pinned videos, and obviously share this video with your communities and your loved ones.
I woke up today. I said, you know what? Let me push through. I wanted to watch the inauguration because, I mean, this is history, and I don't want them, the media, to tell me what's going on. Like, I want to be able to make my own conclusions and whatnot. It feels like we are in the common folk are living a completely different reality than the 1%, than the privileged, because to them it was just another event. Meanwhile, y'all are just shaking hands and smiling and ha ha ha, he he he. I'm over here with my family having conversations in our group chat about making sure people have passports, making sure that we have a plan, making sure that we're preparing for the worst. It just does not feel real. It feels like this is all a joke to them because they probably will be fine, right? And I think we should all be afraid. Everyone who is Latino, who is Hispanic, we should all be afraid because they're coming for TPS. They're coming for birthright citizenship. They're not going to protect DACA. Anyone who is telling you DACA is going to be fine, Fifth Circuit Court, whatever, found it illegal and it's going up to the Supreme Court. If you believe the Supreme Court is going to protect us, you have lost your damn mind and have not been paying attention. The Supreme Court is not going to protect us. They don't got us. I guess my purpose for making this video is to encourage you to stay prepared, stay alert, plan for the worst. I know there's a lot of organizations hosting workshops and events. I just saw one on my page. I'm in Illinois. There's one going to be held. It's called Prepare for the Unexpected, Family Emergency Planning Workshop. For anyone who's undocumented or mixed status families, like, you should all be preparing.
Good afternoon. I had agreed to go dark today, and I have gone dark on other platforms, by the way. But as information is coming down and had to get some stuff out there, I had to be on here. But now that the inauguration is over, right? And the first statement of order of business. Now, this is for a certain demographic, right? This is not for MAGA. Actually, as you hear this statement, you should be happy because you're getting exactly what you wanted. But this is for my Latinos for Trump supporters. Now, if you go down my videos, and those that remember me, if I haven't blocked you, you'll see that I have a video on denaturalization of citizens, but I also have one on birthright citizenship. And because I took the time to read Project 2025, I knew it was in there, and I made a video about it. And I try to warn y'all that birthright citizenship was being threatened. And y'all were like, no. Yes. And here's another comment I heard. It's in the Constitution. It's in the 14th Amendment. He can't do it. Well, he also said, I know it's in the Constitution and it's going to require a change. So, with full control of the judicial branch, full control of the legislative branch, and full control of the executive branch, I don't think he's going to have a hard time getting 38 states so he can ratify that into law. But here's where my job gets really, really, really fun. I get to say, I told you so. I told you that I was a researcher. I told you I was a reader. And I told you I had read Project 2025. I told you so. And so this is the part where I say, I told you so. I told you. And here's the deal, right? Let's just hope, for your sake, that it is birthright citizenship moving forward and not retroactive, where he goes back in time and rescinds it for everyone that already has it. Okay? Let's just hope. But at the rate that he wants to deport people out of this country, I'm going to make another prediction. I'm pretty sure he's going to go back in time and try to rescind it from everyone. And he's going to make exceptions for people like Marco Rubio, Vivek Ramaswamy, Kash Patel, those people that are also immigrants, but because they work for him and they're loyalists, right? I don't think those are going to be affected. But all of you, when he told you that he only wanted you for your vote and you gave it to him, yeah, he doesn't give two craps about you. So with that being said, this is the fun part of my job again. I told you so. Now you may want to do one or two things. When I'm telling you something, you might want to listen. But if you don't, makes me no difference, because his first order of business is to rescind birthright citizenship. But y'all have the day y'all deserve.
Donald Trump is signing an executive order to end birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants in the United States today on his first day of his second term. This move, in which he attempts to fulfill a campaign promise, challenges the 14th Amendment. What the 14th Amendment states is that anyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen. Critics are already calling it unconstitutional, and legal battles are expected to happen as soon as possible. What ending birthright citizenship would mean for the children of undocumented immigrants here in the United States means that they would not get any U.S. citizenship, no passports, no federal recognition. Trump's order would require for at least one parent to be a U.S. citizen or a lawful resident for the child to gain U.S. citizenship. Estimates suggest that millions of U.S. citizens have gained their status through birthright citizenship. This executive order is part of Trump's bigger push for stricter immigration policies. What do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments. Share this video to help spread the word.
President Donald Trump began his term by taking a series of sweeping immigration executive actions Monday that included declaring a national emergency at the U.S. southern border, immediately ending use of a border app called CBP, one that has allowed migrants to legally enter the United States, and kicking off the process to end birthright citizenship, which is expected to tee up a legal fight. Now, Trump also made a striking personnel move as senior leadership at the Justice Department's agency overseeing the nation's immigration courts were removed from service on Monday. According to a source familiar, the executive officer for immigration review oversees the U.S. immigration court system, where immigration judges decide if immigrants can remain in the U.S. or be deported. Now, the removals, which targeted career public servants who together have served in the agency for several years, raised questions about whether they were permitted under rules dictated by the Office of Personnel Management, and they illustrated the Trump administration's push to install officials who are aligned with his policy vision. Now, those removed Monday are Sheila McNulty, who was serving as chief immigration judge, Mary Zheng, who occupied the EOIR dictatorship in acting capacity, Jill Anderson, general counsel at EOIR, and Lauren Oda Reid, acting assistant director at the Office of Administration in EOIR. Combined, they served in the agency for several years. Now, the executive actions are the culmination of multiple campaign pledges and the resurfacing of policy ideas that didn't come to fruition during Trump's first term. Trump aides have signaled that they will be followed within days by a series of immigration enforcement sweeps targeting criminals, though they haven't ruled out that others could be apprehended too. Now, the shutdown of CBP one on Monday closed a key pathway for people looking to come into the U.S. Homeland Security Department officials have cited the app as helping drive down migrant crossings by providing an orderly way to apply to the United States. With that now gone and asylum restrictions in place, the border is effectively shut down to asylum seekers, an extraordinary move. Now, more than 936,500 people have successfully used the app to schedule appointments to present at ports of entry since January 2023, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Existing appointments have been cancelled, the agency said. Now, Trump signed an action declaring a national emergency at the U.S. southern border and said in his inaugural address that all illegal entry will immediately be halted. The declaration triggers the deployment of additional Pentagon resources and armed forces to finish the border wall, among other efforts. It is focused only on southern border security. We'll have the military at the southern border, but there are other elements of the United States government that will be working throughout the country, an incoming White House official said. Now, Trump also designated cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. This initiative is a process that will lead to the designation of the cartels like Tren de Aragua and MS-13 as FTOs and or specifically designated global terrorists, an incoming White House official said, adding that the move will direct removal of the gang members and under the Alien Enemies Act, find them as irregular armed force of Venezuela's government conducting a predatory incursion and invasion into the United States. Trump also kicked off the process to reinstate his signature border policy known as Remain in Mexico, requiring migrants to stay in Mexico while they go through their immigration proceedings in the United States. The policy requires Mexico's buy-in. Now, ending birthright citizenship, an issue that would need to be addressed via constitutional amendment or via the courts. The action is focused on the phrase and subject to the jurisdiction thereof in the 14th Amendment to clarify that on a prospective basis, the federal government would not recognize automatic birthright citizenship for children of illegal aliens born in the United States. Suspending refugee resettlement for at least 4 months, directing the Attorney General to seek capital punishment for the unaliving of law enforcement officers and capital crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. Now, Trump's executive actions on immigration were written carefully and deliberately to try withstanding expected legal challenges, according to a source familiar with the planning. It's a lesson learned from Trump's first term, when multiple immigration executive orders, some of which were hastily written, were challenged in court. Now, Trump's allies argued these legal fights hamstrung Trump's immigration agenda. As Trump's team crafted a slate of immigration executive orders, they tried to account for that. They are ready this time, the source said. Immigration groups have been privately weighing how they will approach lawsuits under the Trump administration, keenly aware that this Trump administration is more prepared and avoiding knee-jerk reactions. Now, a coalition of civil rights and immigration rights groups quickly sued the Trump administration on Monday over his executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship. The lawsuit tees up what is expected to be a lengthy and unprecedented legal fight over the issue, with the group's attorneys arguing that the action violates both federal law and the U.S. Constitution. Now, Trump is inheriting a relatively quiet border. While the Biden administration grappled with record crossings over recent years, migrant crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border plummeted in the wake of executive action by President Joe Biden last summer, cracking down on asylum. In December, the last full month of the Biden administration, U.S. Border Patrol recorded 47,300 migrant encounters, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. In December 2020, the last full month of Trump's first term, illegal crossings hovered around 71,000, but the shutdown of the CBP One app could prompt a rise in illegal border crossings. Homeland Security officials caution migrants along the U.S. southern border who learned that their appointments had been cancelled may now choose to cross anyway. They have nothing to go back to. My bet is a good chunk of them are going to try to cross, one Homeland Security official said. Now, the devastating reality of the immigration crisis is unfolding before our eyes. As the threat of deportation looms large, many individuals are being forced to make the heart-wrenching decision to self-deport. With a heavy heart, they are leaving behind the life they've built, the families they've made, and the communities they've become a part of. The desperation is palpable as people scramble to escape the dragnet of immigration authorities. They are not living by choice, but out of necessity, driven by the fear of being torn from their loved ones, detained and deported. The trauma of this experience will linger long after they've left American soil. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do you, our viewers, have to say? Share your thoughts, your views as well in the comment section. Thank you for always watching and see you in our next video as we bring you another video.